Thank you for watching News Echoes. I'm glad you're here. My name is Shegun Johnson. It's a wonderful day today in Nigeria as youths are remembering the massacre of their fellow youths this time last year. But before we go into that one, we want to look at some other issues across the globe. I have in the studio with me man in the East London part of the United Kingdom, Nat Yako. Ambassador Nat, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much and good morning, everybody.
Yes, right away in Italy, we have a Mark in Milan. Mark Godwin, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Dr. Shagun. Good morning to the
Yes,
viewers.
so good morning to you too. And so many things are happening across the globe. We just must mention them. Unfortunately, we'll be mentioning two deaths to take off. One man, I've forgotten his name, Abi, something like that, went into the surgery of the local MP of Leon C and tapped him so many times until he died. He did not run away. He waited for the police and they came and arrested him. And he's been charged for position of charged for the offense of terrorism. It's a very sad situation here in England in the last 1 week. Nat, you want to keep us up to date on that?
Okay, thank you very much. Our condolences go to the family of Sir David Emis, a member of Parliament representing Leon C in Sussex. Um, the the sad event occurred when he was in his surgery. Surgery here is MPs have appointment with their constituents to interact and pave the way forward. It is also sad that the MP was killed when he was doing his surgery in a church, in a church, a Roman Catholic church, Leon C, which is very unfortunate. Sir David Emis was known to be the MP of the people. He interacted very well with all strata of society. He's been around doing that job for almost 40 years or thereabout, and he was well loved. So for Ali Grebela Ali, a Somali man turned British, had been radicalized, and we understand that that day, that Friday the 15th of October, he was seen on the street of London, maybe walking to commit his crime of murder, and now the country has been turned into mourning. The MPs have had their session for him and a church service on Monday or thereabout. And so our hearts go out to his family. He was a family man too. He was loved by his wife and four daughters, four beautiful daughters. And we will continue to pray. The Holy Spirit will comfort them and give them solace.
Amen. So why do
Yeah.
we still have this Islamic terrorism? The press in England, they refuse to call it Islamic terrorism. They call him terrorism. They call it all sorts of names, but they are afraid to use the word Islamic. I think the press has been cowed or terrorized not to mention Islamic with terrorism, whereas it was an Islamic terrorism. It's not that all Muslims are bad, but it just means that this man went to kill an innocent man inside a church because of his Islamic radicalization. Why is the society here, the press here, so cowardly, not calling it Islamic terrorism? What's the problem?
I think this Ali was radicalized by these extremist Islamic preachers who are everywhere in the London mosques, and especially in the southeast. And the government has not been able to stamp its feet down on this extremist Islamic clerics. And so I think the government has to look toward that direction. The government has to look at what is happening in the mosques, and the government has to ensure that they are having enough intelligence, they are up to date on the
I believe
activities of these people.
you are so right, Ambassador Nat. The big government is burying his head in the sand, believing that all he's hearing is right. But those of us who live in the community, we know that radicalization is going on, and this kind of thing we will continue to see, not because we're happy to see them, but because a big radicalization is going on, and government continue to hide it. I can say this anywhere, anytime, for the British government to hear again and again. We mix with the people here. We mix with the new Muslims here. They refuse Christians some jobs. If certain Christians should go to these radicalized shops, do this for me, and they look at you and they discover you are Christians, then they refuse you. I'm saying what I know, what has happened to me. But the British government decides to bury it in the sand, and this is the consequence of it all. We will shout it at the top of the roof for the British government to continue to have their intelligence. I've been invited by the police few years ago, and I told them what's going on in the universities, in the schools, in radicalizing these children, and yet the government is believing that it should move away. The Islamic Authority told them, do not call Islamic terrorism. Do not call it Islamic, because it's only one man, and therefore it's not Islamic. But it is Islamic terrorism. Nobody is mentioning it. Let me ask Mark in Milan, what is the position in Europe? Having seen what happened to France, I don't know whether it's gone down now. But what kind of radicalization do you have in Europe generally? I know France is in turmoil, still looking left, right, and center.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Shagun. It's same all over. Europe is experiencing those things, and like you've said, the press gives because Europe also have more number of Muslims, so these are sensitive issues. So the press has a way of rubbing it and not making it look too critical. It's going on here also. We followed what happened to Conservative MP there in UK, Sir David Ames. We followed also how it has not been brought out. The statements have not been really made out. But it's known that a 25-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of murder, and the attack happened in a church, and they recovered evidence from him, knife, and things that is associated to that crime scene. But like you said, it's a pity we're not putting it out. The press is not putting it out very hard on that issue. Sir David Ames is gone now, a 69-year-old man, married with 5 children, and he will be missed. Our condolence to the family, and we really wish something would be done on this radicalization of people. You know,
yes,
sir.
We don't want to come again tomorrow and see somebody going to hit somebody. Now, the challenge here is that the far right may now go and plan their own to burn mosques like they've been doing now, to start attacking, because somebody is not shouting out enough to say, look, whatever the Islamic people are doing, they must stop radicalizing, because this is just one manifestation of radicalization. There are other manifestations that could come out. And we, the citizens who mix and mingle with the people, Muslims and Christians, we must shout that not all Muslims are bad or will behave in a wicked manner. but there are still some mosques that they are radicalizing people. And we don't want to come again and start crying and sending condolences, and the government pretending as if they don't know. The government will say we are doing enough, we have intelligence, but it doesn't appear to the people. Well,
That's
Nat, will you now consider giving MPs a police officer each, or even police officers?
Well, you see, the British society over the years was established on liberalism and humanitarian, what we call human, milk of human kindness. The MPs have said really they don't want to be seen to be behaving like cowards. They don't want to be
Mm.
seen for evil, evil overriding good. They have to be seen to be very close to the people. Because if you now give each MP a policeman, a policewoman, you are putting a barrier between your MP and the people they represent. So I think what they will now do is to increase the level of daily intelligence on the MPs, their environment, their surroundings, any potential threat should be nipped in the bud. I think that is what should happen.
Yeah, that is what they're saying, but I still believe that they need protection. You don't want two other MPs to be killed before they give protection. There will be a call. I mean, we are getting to the end time, and these are the things we are seeing. We need protection for them. No, no, about 6 weeks ago, I was called among other pastors to come and pray for police officers, and I felt great pity for them. Their job is to look around for trouble and stop such trouble. And the people who are troublemakers, they carry guns, they carry knives, they do anything, no thinking, no remorse, no consequence. They just do whatever they like. I really felt for them. So I teamed up with other pastors, praying for the police and encouraging them to continue that will be with them. But having said that one, we see that now MPs are vulnerable, very vulnerable, no protect, and yet we think everything should go on. Well, that's my position, that MPs should be properly protected with police officers if need be, with so many security things. Because the people you are dealing with, they're just stupid people, evil people, wicked people. The man, I'm talking of Sir David Ames, did not say goodbye to the final goodbye to the wife or to the children. He didn't tidy anything up that morning. You can imagine how things are loose ends and they now have to be worrying and things. It's not fair at all. It's not fair. It's not just fair. And we must say with vehemence that these evil people radicalizing, I believe the government should go and look for those who radicalize this band, whatever his name. They should look for the mosque he was going. They should look for him, for all of them who radicalized him. They must not go scot free. Anyway, that's my position, and I'm very passionate about it. Well, we hope that such will not
very
happen
passionate.
again. And we've not seen such in Italy, but we've seen such in France, Germany. How is Italy coping with it?
Yes, Italy has a way of pacifying the Muslim population. The Catholic Church is here, and one thing they do is really show love more and more. So we don't have that situation here. And also, let me say this: the Italian government have a very interesting way of putting security around or anything of such. On Fridays, in their mosques and their various prayer ground, there are heavy mounted security apparatus. So there are that checks on them, and also the very good relationship they have with the people. So this is how Italy has been able to curb that situation. But in other parts of Europe, France is not smiling. Once in a while, they wake up and we hear those stories. Also, Spain once in a while too brings up the
And
ugly.
I believe we have a lot of Muslims in Spain
Yes,
historically, isn't it?
yes, there are lots of them in Spain because the Moroccans and the Algerians
Algeria.
are more there.
Mm. Okay. Well, we'll just leave it as that. We wish the family of Sir David Ames the best. Um, Nat, we heard again General Colin Powell passed on to glory. That great man, that general, always remained a Republican, and but he could vote for Obama. He could ask people to vote for Obama. The man was independent in his thinking. He moved from the army into the political arena, and he made a success out of it. He was their ambassador for several years. You want to tell us more about the passing on of Colin Powell now?
Okay, thank you very much. General Colin Powell, a retired four-star general, um, passed on Sunday, the 17th of October, 2021. The general, it's apart from his rank as a general, he had the stature, he was tall, he had the stamina, and when you see him, you have seen a general in title, in height, and in deeds. He has so many things. He has so many things going for him. He's the first Black American to attain that position of a four-star general in the Army of the USA, Armed Forces of the USA, and he was one time chief of Joint Staff. And the chief of Joint Staff is a coordinating position for the military, Navy, Air Force, and he discharged his duties creditably. And we had so many testimonies by his colleagues, by the White House. Even Joe Biden gave an outstanding and astonishing tribute to General Colin Powell. Remember, he was even offered the candidacy of the Republican for presidency. He
Yeah,
declined.
yeah,
He declined. He would have probably been the first Black American to be a president.
yeah.
And the
He
man
rejected.
was for the
Mm,
family.
mm.
Yeah, he said it for family concern, because once you want to offer yourself to going in for American presidency, you lose your privacy. A lot of things are involved, and his family will not be able to cope. That is another outstanding value people should emulate: family first, or God first, family second, and then the country comes in. And so he's made his mark in history.
Mm.
Colin is gone, but he will never we will never miss him in our family, in our memories. He's departed, but
Wow.
still very much
Uh,
with us. May his soul
Absolutely.
rest in peace.
Yeah, thank you very much. Mark, when you heard the news, what was your reaction?
Wow. Um, yes, it was a very sad one. Um, Colin Powell was a remarkable man, an American politician, a diplomat, a statesman, four-star general, and like Dr. Nat said, and he had all those wonderful qualities, and first African American Secretary of State. Uh, all everything you could think of. He broke the glass ceiling. He was he made sure also that he really did put his name in the world record. Raised
Mm.
in the slums of South Bronx, Now, the Bronx side of New York, America, is known to be rough, but he came out from that and became an icon. Collin Powell did a lot. He also had so many international relationship that was very, very remarkable. During his time as the Defense Department in the Department of Defense Joint Chief of Staff, he was able to do a good arrangement on the Panama invention. I don't know if you follow that story. That
Go
was
ahead.
yes, and Collin Powell did a lot. One interesting thing from our point of view as media people, one interesting thing he did, which most people don't do, is he wrote his own autobiography. Yes, he wrote his own. Normally, autobiographies are written by somebody close to you or somebody that follows you through your life experiences. But he wrote his own, and that's quite impressive. So that shows that he's very intelligent and he's articulate enough to put things together. Now listen to this again. There is something we call selfie. This holding your phone and snapping your phone by your own self. It started some couple of years ago, and it became a trend. People doing selfie. Do you know that General Collin Powell was one of the originator of that trend, and he did it as a young man in the American force, in the American army. So he was on a particular mission somewhere, and he held his phone. This was in the 50s. He held his phone, and he took a selfie of himself. You know, when selfie was not a popular thing, when selfie was not known. So Collin Powell has been a great, remarkable person. He's been treated for blood cancer for years now, and that led to that complication of COVID that has taken his life. So, but we will continue to remember him, a black man that that had his head high up and did a lot of things on behalf of his country. These are dedicated people that when they take that allegiance, that pledge to serve their country, they did it to the end, you know. So America will be honoring him, and a lot of wonderful things will follow also. Thank you very much.
Well, that's our position. We wish America and indeed the family of Collin Powell all the best at a time like this. He's a well-known man all over the world. And on that note, we'll go on a short break. When we return, we shall be discussing what's going on in Lagos. NSARS Memorial. We want to quickly meet up with the latest. We have video clips for you to watch. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Schengen Story magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, entrepreneurship, and culture for Africans. The articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story magazine's full editions. Celebrating Africans make an impact. Read better. The Inside Story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle. Inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of entertainment. A better mind keeping you updated.
Hashtag Schengen Story magazine. Get Schengen Story magazine full editions.
Welcome back. At News Echoes, we give you information, we give you facts, we give you analysis so that you can have an informed opinion. It is your decision. You must make it, but we want you to make a quality decision. Right now, as we speak, at the Lekki toll gate in Lagos, there has been protests. Young people in Nigeria have moved in their vehicles and they're driving and causing a traffic jam to commemorate the massacre of their colleagues this time last year. And the government is not going to have it. Government came up with a paper yesterday saying that, oh, well, there will be anti-NSAS protests. For that reason, they are canceling the protest of the NSAS people. Well, tell that to the Marines. Nobody will care for such a paper because that there is a counter protest does not stop another protest. It's just a kind of wigwash. Well, let me give it to someone who has
government that they are underpaid, the police are underpaid, and that a time will come we're going to overwhelm the police, and we certainly overwhelm the police. And we have shown that the police have not learned their lesson. Because we see that there's so much injustice in Nigeria. They have never been justice in Nigeria. Look at them rotting again. Look at them rotting. This is a peaceful protest, okay? Don't touch me now. Okay, no, why touching me? What about you? Arrest this man! Arrest this man! Arrest this man!
We dey live on Lekki toll gate right now. As one protester don already arrived the location, and they don already arrest him. He carry banner, and as he carry the banner, now so police rush him. He carry banner, we are white. Officers arrest him. Today na Lekki toll gate shooting anniversary, and protesters don't begin to come out. One person will just show face now, they don't bob them immediately, they don't even waste time.
Well, you saw what has been happening in Lagos in the last few hours, and it's just 10:40 a.m. We don't know whether the police want to escalate this matter, because if they should touch any of those vans, there could be escalation. And it will not be funny for the government of Babajide Sanwo-Olu, in whose state this is taking place. In fact, there could be duplicity in other states. So I believe the same thing is happening in Abuja. But let me ask my colleague, Nat, to give us background to this and whatever they have discussed at the ENSAS panel. Anything has come out of it. Nat, let's hear from you.
Thank you very much. The in Nigeria, we have the Nigeria Police Force as a constitutionally recognized body, security outfit, and they are responsible for keeping law and order internally within Nigeria. The Nigerian police has had a very long history of um, of of misbehaving or brutalizing her citizens. And so around 1999 or thereabout, during Obasanjo's regime, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad was established. A few policemen were given special training. And so SAS stands for Special Anti-Robbery Squad. That was what that police outfit was established to fight criminality, to fight armed robbery, and to ensure security, especially in the urban centers of Lagos, Abuja, and other places. But as early as 2017, the citizens started complaining of police brutalizing them. The SARS, their mandate, they were now operating outside their mandate. They were not supposed to wear uniforms, but they started wearing uniform, started carrying guns on the street, started mounting roadblocks and exhorting people collecting money to the extent that they will arrest you or force you to they'll take you to an MTN cash point to collect money for them. And so the Nigerians were fed up, especially in Lagos. And it reached its climax last year, 2020, October. And the end SARS protest started around the 7th and 8th of October. And then we have heard of the toll gate shooting, which took place October 20th, 2020. That incident is still very much with us. There have been so many conspiracy theories, so many truths unknown, and everybody has his own side of the story. The Nigerian police, the Nigerian army, the protesters, and even the hooligans that partook of the anti-SARS destruction of property, especially in Lagos and Abuja. And I also want to continue to say that the hooligans did not take over the anti-SARS demonstration. I believe seriously that the anti-SARS protest had ended before these hooligans and hoodlums took over, especially in Lagos, to vent their anger on not only on the police now, but the system of governance, and the police were seen as the poster boys of the regime. And so the government, in reacting initially, the government said this was a joke, that the young men and women wanted a regime change. They wanted to overthrow Muhammadu Buhari, but the SARS people said no, that was not their goal. They were just protesting to register, and so they got to the point of this 5 for 5. The NSAS protesters were saying that the police they should release those in their detention. They should pay adequate salaries to the police. People serving in SARS and especially police should have a mental health examination to see their psychological state of mind. They also said there should be recruitment. More policemen were needed on their beat, and the government responded by saying yes, 5 for 5. But at the end of the day, the government reneged.
What is the meaning of 5 for 5?
Okay, the meaning of 5 for 5 is the protesters presented a 5-point concern, 5-point agenda, 5-point why they were protesting, which I had enumerated before earlier. And then the federal government responded also to those 5 requests or demands, but the day the police, the day the federal government did their response for 5, the police were still brutalizing people on the streets in Abuja, in Lagos, and urban centers. And we saw the federal government responding in breach of the complaint of the SARS.
Okay, let me ask Marky Milan.
Speak now.
Okay. Marky Milan, what's your take on all of these? Our children are back on the streets, and we really don't know what is going to happen in Lagos today. We've seen the brutalization of 2 of them. The young man was just speaking. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just talking to a group of journalists, and before you knew it, he was arrested for talking. He didn't carry any banner, and then somebody said arrest him, and the next thing was a dirty slap, and there he's gone. And so is this not what they are clamoring against? Please, Mark, help us out.
Yes. Ambassador Nat has given a very good insight. It is 1 year since the historic NSAS protests, a youth-driven anti-police brutality demonstration that shook Nigeria. It really shook Nigeria and all over the world. The protests, which morphed into a social media campaign into the streets of Lagos, of Nigeria, happened 20 October, exactly this time last year. Well, what triggered it was that the essence of that group, squad, Ambassador Nat has described, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SAS. That's the abbreviation. They are known to be very, very, very. They go beyond what the power. We can see what they were doing on that video. Although SAS activities and general issues of police brutality has been the core issue of that demonstration, that NSAS protest. But the protest demanded more of governmental reforms and change also. Security, corruption, economic woes, the youth not being employed, general administration problem that the country is facing. So the NSAS, behold, is being remembered today, that protest. And like Ambassador Nat said, there is a 5-point demand from the youth. And that 5-point demand is what they are asking the government to look into. A demand which includes compensation of families of those that were killed, that the government is still denying. The government is denying that fact, families that were killed. And one of it also is the release of the arrested protesters, also an increase in the salary and allowances of the police officers. You see,
yes,
the youth are actually fighting for the police, but the police doesn't seem to understand. So they are asking that, because if the police is well taken care of, good welfare arrangement, then there might not be this excessive outrageous behavior with people, because they are not well kept. You know, I mean, somebody that is well paid and taken care of would have no reason to harass people for bribe and 20 euro, 20 naira bribe, 10 naira bribe. So these are part of the 5-point demand the youths are making. They are also demanding that an independent body be set up to investigate the various allegations of police misconduct and to persecute those that are indicted. You know, so this is it. NSAS for us. We are monitoring all the activities, and we hope that a headway will be made out of all this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Nat, let's go into the area of predictability. How do you think today will end at the toll gate or in Lagos or even in Abuja? Do you have any clip from Abuja? Yes, please. What do you think? Can you predict? What do you think we'll see at the end of today? Do you think government will listen? Do you think there'll be more deaths today or more arrests? Do you think things will escalate?
Well, I'm afraid that things seems to be getting out of control, especially in Lagos. The what we are seeing on the screens and what we are listening via print and electronic media, the Abuja incident seems to be more under control. But we have seen the brutality of the police in Lagos, where that is where everything bad begins to start and will happen. So I think what the police high command should do as of now is to caution the officers on ground, especially around the toll gate area, because that is the area, and you know the strategy is to use vehicles to as remember the anniversary of the death of their colleagues. And we also see they are using buses to ride in the buses and passing through the toll gate. We have people like Faz, the son of Femi Falana. We have people like the DG, Enough is Enough. Remy, no, Ademola Lekun, I've forgotten her first name now. And we have in Abuja, we have Adeyanju, our own Showore, and they are there, on the beat of today. And all they need support from Nigerians.
Yes.
They need support from Nigerians. They are doing this for Nigerians.
Why are the middle-aged people and the older people, why are they hiding? Why don't they can think that these children are fighting for their own future, for their own present and future and their own children? Why are my generation hiding?
So they are doing this so that Nigeria can be a better society to live in, so that the police can be cleaned off of the corrupt elements in the police. They are we need, because things have worsened after the NSAS started last year, the protest. Things have worsened. The police people are still killing people for fun, harassing people for fun, slapping people for fun. I think, come on, police, Nigerian police should do better.
Wow. Well, it appears that, like you said, we may not see a good deal by the end of the day. We just pray that there will be no killing, no massacre like we saw last year. The issue of massacre has not been resolved. It's not a word you can use in Nigeria, but to us, one dead person is a massacre, because what you have done is you have killed a whole family, or maybe many families, even through one person. So it's not just a case of, oh, we didn't kill 500, so why should we call it a massacre? But in a country where people are just dying every day from insensate shootings, what else do we expect from such a government? I mean, government is so insensitive to massacres that are happening across the northern parts of Nigeria, across the southern parts of Nigeria, especially the southeast. People are dying. How many people died again in Sokoto and Zamfara in the last 1 week? Now,
40.
you see, and
official number. We
official
suspect
numbers.
more than that.
Some of these things are not even getting to the press anymore, and so we really need to start talking now. And those children said "Sorosoke," which means speak out how you feel, how things should be done. But a generation, just because they have built their own houses, they decided not to talk anymore. They are afraid of their businesses, so they refuse to talk, and it's a shame. It's a shame. Let me ask Mark, how do you think we can make people talk? What else can make people give an opposition to the government? Opposition is not a destructive word. Opposition is saying that there are better ways you can do it. Why don't you look at it? It's not an evil word, but how do we push people to give an antithesis to the thesis being given to us by the government?
It's a hard one, Dr. Shagun. The Nigerian context is a strange. It's very complex. You've just said it. A group of people, even though very minor, are comfortable. They are enjoying that whole thing called Nigeria, while the majority are suffering. Now, but that small group of people also control power. So it's very hard to arrange a showdown, strong showdown that will really affect the government, because those that could do that are also milking one way or the other and tapping and eating from the government. So one way I think we can do it, if need be, is the Senate. The House of Senate can put a clause into our constitution where we have referendums on issues. That is what is lacking in our constitution. Referendum on issues, on ways to go about things, and people can make their vote. People can come out in mass and say, we don't want this, or we want this. So, but as long as we don't have that, we have that lacuna, like they call, in our constitution, the masses will keep suffering. The masses are not represented, no voice. When you speak, they hold you. Sunday Igboho is being held down. Nnamdi Kanu is being held down. All around, people that want to make up something, they hold you down. So, and they put fear in other people too. The NSAS, the boys are, in fact, today would have been more of the mass protests. But because of out of fear also, we are seeing very scanty movements. We are seeing not much, like they have the drive-through. Everybody in their car drove through the toll gates. with banners and noise. But that doesn't have much impact because you're just driving through, and they are doing all this because of fear, because the government might come hard on them, the security arms will hit them. So this is what is happening. We really
we are not even sure the government cannot arrest those drivers, those car drivers. We're not sure because they can say park, 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 and without any form of justice, they can just arrest them.
Exactly.
Like someone was slapped just now.
Absolutely. So you see that people didn't come out the way because what they're also doing is having virtual meetings, having indoor talks, dialogues, and all that. But that come out to the crowd is being restricted. So we know there's control.
The protesters have made up their mind not to come out. They said they will only be in cars because these people are ready to suck blood again, and so they chose to be inside their cars. I think that was deliberate, and just to show the nitwit level of government, because they think they can stop the protest, but they came in another form, and they were calling themselves through internet. If you don't have a car, come and be part of the carpool. And I can see the buses full and the vans full, so that the call to come out into the carpool, it has worked for them. Well, the day is still young, and we hope that the government will not escalate it. When government wants to stop such a thing, then they will go and rabble somewhere and then use an occasion to shoot. Well, we hope that will not be.
Let me say that it's a shame that at this time of humanity, protests are being clamped down in Nigeria, because protest is part of people's constitutional right. I mean, you have the right to air your view, to protest. Here in Europe and wherever you are also, when people go on protest, they even give the protesters security to go along with them. Like here in Europe, the police and the security arm put their vehicles and go along with those protesting. So that's how it's done, and that's because it's human. It's our right to protest if something is not right. So it's sad that Nigerian government doesn't understand this, killing protesters, shooting at them, and it's terrible. Last year, when that NSAS happened, the media company, Schengen Story, we put out a letter to The Hague. I must say that. Yes, we did a petition note to The Hague complaining and telling them that they are killing our youths for no reason. So we're yet to have a response from them. And it's sad that the government is doing this. It's really sad.
It's very sad. Well, as sad as it is, we'll go for a short break, and when we return, we'll be looking at how they share rice in Nigeria. Now, customs have become rice sharers because the bandits say that they have a right to the rice that have been seized. Is a fundamental human rights. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We give you facts, information, and analysis so that you might have an informed opinion, because your decision matters. Now, we want to look at how we govern Nigeria. Now, governance is very important, but how do we govern? It appears that the warlords have taken over we had the story of how the customs, how they seized rice from those who are smuggling. And the bandits said they will not allow them to move. And according to the customs senior officer, he said they had to buy their way through 7 bags of rice before they could be given a chance to move in the land they're supposed to be protecting. And you want to tell me there are no warlords in Nigeria? This is what we have found in a country like this. And I'm sure the studio may play that video very soon. But Nat, tell us the background to this story. Customs men are rice shearers.
Well, thank you very much. We know even before excise department of the Ministry of Internal Affairs have really not performed their constitutional duties to the expectations of the people. They have been known for turning their face the other way around and allow smugglers to pass through our borders with these even dangerous arms, imported rice, and so many other things. And so when we hear of what is going on now, it is also prevalent and well pronounced along the northern borders. Nigeria has a land border between Niger and Nigeria, almost 1,600 kilometers of land mass. And in the other side, Nigeria and Cameroon, we are talking 1,700 kilometers. And because our borders are porous and the system is corrupt, so many evil things are happening. The bandits are aware of all this, and they are asking that they also be allowed to share in what the customs people are enjoying. And so they have insisted you have to give us sorry, there is you have to give us part of the share. And so that is what is
okay, smuggled rice.
Yes, the smuggled rice.
Listen.
The smuggled rice. The custom people will allow the rice to be smuggled into Nigeria because they even now go into the markets inland for smuggled goods that have passed through their nose, through where they are checking. They are going into Lagos market, Ibadan market, even Kano. What an irony. Where were you when these things were passing through?
Now, they seized the rice because it was illegal, and then they distribute it right there to people who didn't even pay for it. Now, who has committed a greater offense? I just want to know.
Obviously, it's the customs who have committed as far as I'm concerned, who have committed the greatest offense. Because normally, what will happen in the past? Some of these seized smuggled goods are distributed to orphanages, people in need, or at a very reduced price they are sold to people. But when custom is now engaging and bargaining with the bandits to share the rice, then that's another dimension which the federal government has to look into.
Mark, this is an institution that is now turned to be supporting illegality. And they are saying it blatantly. They said, well, we have to give them the rights to safeguard our lives. So what will that tell anybody? So a robber can say, I got to steal to be alive, because is that how Nigeria is being governed?
It's really interesting. Hearing from Ambassador Nat and the whole situation, it's funny. We keep having very funny, comic situation, comic-like events happening in Nigeria. Things that you put in the TV and people will watch and laugh. This is happening real in the country. Customs are doing this to save their lives, like they said. And the chief custom officer had to he said it, he didn't hide his words. He said it loud and clear that they had to do that to save lives and to help them. We all know that the banditry thing and the terrorism thing came out of a confused government. But now, sadly, that confused government is also supporting this whole act. So giving them food is giving them strength to fight more, giving them strength to do more havoc, giving them strength to inflict more pain on innocent citizens. So it's a sad one. It's a very sad one. When we had that video, we laughed here, and in fact, we didn't know what to say again because it's just so funny. Thank you, sir.
Well, we continue to live in this kind of thing, and our standard of living in Nigeria is deteriorating. It's not just a case of bad governance; it's a case of deterioration of standard of living, and we tend to overlook such things. Nat, where do we start from? Now, we used to say the Nigerian police was corrupt, but in customs is saying, look, the job you have given me, I cannot police border, I cannot police the stop the smugglers, and I cannot stop the bandits, I cannot do anything. But I just have to put on the uniform and be walking around the place and even be paying tribute to bandits for me to be able to be alive. Where do we start from repairing Nigeria?
Well, I think as we are speaking, we pray and hope that the Director General of Nigerian Custom and Excise should be with the police now or the federal government to explain why they will be aiding and abetting criminality, why they will be aiding and abetting banditry, and why they should be aiding and abetting smuggling. Because the government the federal government had to take a stand and show in public a good exemplary leadership, especially with this issue of the custom and excise people sharing rice or what either petrol there or palm oil with bandits. I mean, they have said they will not negotiate. This is a sort of negotiating with the bandits and giving them rice. And I'm sure that these bandits will turn around and sell this rice because I don't know the cooking facilities they have in the forest. We know they do, but the DG Customs should not have made even this pronouncement to the public. He should have been sacked on the spot and face charges of sabotaging the federal government efforts in fighting banditry. There should be leadership by example.
Absolutely.
We keep talking of transparency, accountability. This is where it should begin and continue in all federal, state, and local government departments. Because when you are given a responsibility, most constitutional responsibility, if you cannot perform, then you should just go home. You should go home. You should resign your appointment. And if you have any criminal charges to face, you are ready to face such charges.
It is a shame. maybe we just note it and then just move on, because it is it beggars belief, and it's just nauseating that we have to resort to this. Not, but we have to say these things so that the generation coming after us will not say, "Oh, you people didn't say anything. You didn't even fight for us." We're not saying all these things and fighting for nothing. We're trying to say we're doing our best within our limits. If everybody could do his own bit, it would be a better place. What's the level of insecurity now, so that people who are going to Nigeria should know? People are still dying in Zamfara, Sokoto, and all. What other parts? Please tell us.
Just 2 days ago, President Muhammadu Buhari, through his spokesperson, Shehu Garba, was telling the whole world that the press shouldn't be talking about an increase in insecurity, but should be talking about insecurity is declining in Nigeria. That was what Garba Shehu said on behalf of his principal. But Nigerians who are on ground, they have a contrary view. They say it is not true. It is not true. It is not true. Insecurity is getting worse in Nigeria. The northeast, the northwest, the north central, north southeast, things are getting out of hand. Things have got out of hand. The bandits, the unknown gunmen have taken over the running of public life in Nigeria.
Wow.
If we start from Kaduna State, the killings are still going on in southern Kaduna. It has not stopped. The Nigerian Air Force had to employ their gunship armors to shoot from the air and to see how many of these bandits they could take off. In Sokoto State, northwest, we know Zamfara was the epicenter, but it has moved to Sokoto State. Sokoto State now is witnessing killings on market days on everyday basis. In the last 2 or 3 days, more than 40 people were killed in the Goronyo market. Goronyo is in Sokoto State. 40 people or more were killed at the market. And if we now move to the southeast, which also is experiencing lawlessness, unknown gunmen are killing known people. And in Imo State, yesterday in Imo State, there was a meeting of traditional rulers, and these unknown gunmen invaded the hall and killed 3 of the traditional rulers. And the rest.
I thought there were 2.
Hello?
I thought there were 2
that were killed.
Yes.
I think it's more than 2.
No, maybe there were 3. I didn't know that. I've been thinking there were 2, but now maybe I'm just confirming that there are 3.
Yeah. So a situation where traditional rulers, the custodian of traditional values, are now being attacked at a meeting in Imo State, with Uzodinma still thinking he's governor in that place. We should ask questions and speak out, because Imo and then Anambra yesterday or so, they are a market in one of the major markets in Anambra State was set on ablaze. So
by who?
You can be sure that it is the unknown men. And
okay, these unknown gunmen, who are they working for? Who are these unknown gunmen? Who are they working? Are they a splinter group on their own and they just do what they like? They're not even under the control of IPOB or what?
Senator Abaribe of Nigeria, the Senate, last week told us that it seems there are more than 30 splinter groups in the Southeast alone who are now participating in these heinous crimes of killing people, burning down properties, and disturbing the peace in the Southeast. The unknown gunmen, nobody is claiming he knows them, or nobody is claiming that they are working on behalf of a particular group. But I am suspecting that it's likely to be the fifth columnist. This is the fifth or fourth columnist.
The fifth.
Fifth. Yeah, it is fifth. And definitely some individuals know them. They are not ghosts. They are not holies. They are not demons just coming out maybe in the night to harass and demonize people. And we remember tomorrow, the 21st of October 2021, Nnamdi Kanu is supposed to appear before Justice Binta Nyako's court in Abuja. And the Southeast are in agreement that at least you should produce Nnamdi Kanu physically so that people will see him, so that people will know he's still alive. And tomorrow has been declared as sit down at home in the whole of Southeast. And they are saying, yes, and they are
because
saying
Monday they observed it wholeheartedly on Monday.
Yes.
Go on, please.
Kanu is not to appear in court physically. They are going to declare a 1 month sit down at home. I know what that means on the life, the economy, everything about Southeast.
But they can't do that because the people need to eat. That will not make sense, in my own opinion. I know they're fighting. I know they have the support, but to sit down 1 month without going to market, I don't think an Igbo man can handle that.
Well, that is now face to face with the federal government of Nigeria.
The federal government of Nigeria does not care. Let's ask Mark in Milan. Mark, are you hearing?
Ambassador Nat giving great insights. He has what it takes. He tells us everything. Thank you so much, Nat.
Thank you.
Mark, will it make sense, even though the Southeast and the federal government are different ends of the stick, will it make sense for them to just sit down at home for 1 month because they did not produce Kanu in the court?
You just said something prior to this question. The average Igbo man might not be able to survive that. They are business people. They are merchants. They are buyers and sell. They trade. So I don't think that would work. Yes, it's important also to state that to know their leaders' condition is they need to know. They need to know how he's faring in the detention. They need to know if he's even alive. But going on a 1 month or even like for tomorrow, all this is crippling the economy of the Southeast. And that's what they should also look at. It's affecting people psychologically, emotionally, every way. So,
and I understand there was a complete compliance this last Monday.
Yes. But interestingly, the government is not listening to them. So they are only biting their own, shooting their own legs and biting their own fingers. Because
the government doesn't care. If you are sitting there at home, they are not killing any people. The government takes its own subvention. The government officials are eating fat, so they don't care. Especially when you are sitting there at home, keeping the law and they're keeping quiet. They don't care. They would have preferred not. They would have preferred people working.
Yes, sir. A better apparatus, Dr. Shagu, would have been the governors, the Southeast governors, speaking with one voice. They come out actually, but they don't speak with one voice. If the governors can speak with one voice and state their demands and speak for the people, That's an easy way to get it across. But the governors are not united, and they are not getting the results.
The governors are scared of the might of the federal power once
Power.
they leave office.
That's
Now,
it.
you know that the governors' hands are soiled with so much money while they were there for 4 or 8 years. And you can see the Fayose, they pursue Fayose, that is still alive today is a miracle. They're still persecuting him, prosecuting him, whatever, whether persecuting or
Everywhere.
prosecuting, one of the two. So they saw that one, and that is why incumbent governors are quickly joining the APC, so that once they leave the place, nobody will run after them. Because I don't see why governors who have spent their 8 years, where they should be hustling to join APC when they were put there by PDP. But the fear of the federal might is the beginning of wisdom. So you
Wisdom.
see them things. But I just wonder if this is the right case. Will this not boomerang when if Kano is not produced tomorrow, they say go and do your worst, and they say don't come out, and then unknown gunmen will be shooting. They may no longer shoot within the southeast anymore. They may extend their shooting zone. I think the federal government should start thinking seriously now.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. So where do we start this one from? I mean, how do we start correcting Nigeria, Mark? Before we leave it, how do we start correcting Nigeria? The federal government, what should they start doing? Should they just say, "Look, Kanu, Igboho, come to the discussion table"?
You said
You,
it, Doc. Doc, that's just it. That's it. A dialogue. Come bring all these warring forces, fractions, all these oppositionists, all these. Let's sit down and talk.
that will remove the rug from the feet of these oppositionists. It will
Exactly.
remove the rug, because it's like, look, tomorrow the federal government has raised up some men who will discuss with Kanu and Igboho, and it will be beamed live. And so they will return to various hotels that the government has put them in until we come to a resolution. Whatever Kanu wanted and they can agree to, and whatever Igboho wanted and they can
they can come with their lawyers and their advocates
and their
and everything.
lawyers, and look, it will have taken the rug out of their feet. But the more you keep them, and the more they think there is a myth about them, the more there is a myth about them. I mean, they should learn from Nelson Mandela. They kept him for several years, and when they released him, I mean, everybody is enjoying their lives in South Africa right now. Otherwise, there would have been sabotage against the whites again and again and again, like they did in the years Mandela was in prison. So, if they want to win, the federal government really has the interest of Nigeria at heart, and all these one-day ban of selling and buying in the southeast and the unknown gunmen, just bring Kano out and say, as from today, we'll be discussing with this man. We will not allow him to go until we have reached a conclusion. It will go a long way, but they don't want to do that. They want to do it with bandits. They want to do it with Miyetti Allah, but they don't want to do it with Kano. They don't want to do it with Igboho because they will look like they are weak. But they don't feel that they are weak when they are discussing with bandits, sending people, emissaries to bandits, giving them rights. They don't feel that they are weak. But when it matters, they think, oh, we don't want to look weak. One thing I can assure the federal government is that you cannot rule by suppression. It comes to an end one day. So I just hope that they will get it. Well, we are looking at the situation at Lekki Toll's Gate for you. Whenever we get something new, we will bring you the clips. We hope the federal government will be sensitive and the Nigeria police will be sensitive not to kill anybody today. The massacre of last year, we're still trying to sort them out. And it's a shame that even the federal government will not agree to a massacre, because as far as they're concerned, the killing 100 is not up to a massacre. It's the definition of massacre that we're looking at now. Well, we'll go on a short break. When we return, we'll be looking in the last segment of this meeting. We'll be looking at politics. the PDP and APC crisis, the Anambra State election, is it going to happen November 6th? If it's going to happen November 6th, will it just be INEC voting by itself? INEC is going to vote someone into the governor's house come November 6th. Oh, I'm sorry. The people are going to vote someone in the government's house by November 6th. Or is it going to be INEC who will just write down? But INEC has been given an opportunity to use electronic transmission of result. Don't go away. We'll be right back to discuss politics in Nigeria.
Schengen Story magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, entrepreneurship, and culture for Africans. Though articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story magazine's full editions. Celebrating Africans make an impact. Read better, the inside story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle. Inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of entertainment, a better mind keeping you updated.
Hashtag Schengen Story magazine. Get Schengen Story magazine full editions.
Welcome back to our final segment today. I'm so glad you are watching, and we've got to discuss some politics. Well. November 6th is so close, and some say election may not happen because if IPOP say nobody goes out to vote, I bet you nobody goes out to vote because nobody wants to die. On the other hand, INEC says they are ready to go and conduct the election. Unfortunately, they'll be using some National Youth Service Corps members. We hope those lives are safe. And also, unfortunately, they'll be using ad hoc members. We hope they're safe. But Nat, please, as our in-house researcher, tell us what's going on in Anambra State.
Sorry, Dr. Shagun, before we look at the Anambra case, more videos are coming in from the NSAS. Yes, sir.
Please give it to us. Give it to us immediately.
Yes, sir. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Has been taken. One part of my eye is closed and I can't see very well because of. I was hit here. I was punched. I was hit here.
So
my officer. Yeah, I was hit here.
True, but you were witness to any of that? So, are you listening to these allegations? They said that they were beaten and punched. Is that true?
Okay, what we're seeing there is journalists being arrested.
You push what? Nigeria what?
These are journalists being arrested.
Nigeria what? Let the whole world watch what they are doing to us. Let the whole world see what they are doing to us. Look, hey, look here, look here, look here.
All right, sir. So
we will continue to bring you the latest from Lekki Tollgate as we have them. We thank you, studio. Nat, to be or not to be, November 6th.
Yes, to be or not to be, that is the question the whole world is asking on Anambra State. From the look of things, I don't know whether a soothsayer or somebody who can look at the crystal ball and tell us what will happen on November 6, 2021 in Anambra State. We have had INEC promising us. We have had the Nigerian police promising us. We have had the governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano, promising us. But all these are promises. We are looking forward to the next few days to see if we can take these promises anywhere. But from all indications, it's going to be very, very tough. It's like a camel passing through the needle's eye to be able to have election in Anambra State. We understand that 34,000 policemen have been mobilized for Anambra State, 4,000 more than what happened in Ekiti. We know Ekiti, 30,000 policemen, not to talk of DSS, military personnel, were drafted to Ekiti. In Anambra, the number is going to be more than that. We're talking of 34 now. But even that, that is not what we need to conduct elections in Anambra State. What we need is justice. What we need is peace. And what we need is to see the federal government being neutral in ensuring that there is a conducive, a democratic atmosphere for people to be able to exercise their franchise. But we see that that is in the breach as we speak. Even if NSAS taking place today, and we see what police are doing, you can be sure November 6, 2021 in Anambra State could be something similar. People being arrested, or IPOP, or the non-gunmen preventing people from going to exercise their franchise. And because if people even have the courage to want to go out that day, and the unknown gunmen kill one or two people, you won't see anybody outside again in the whole of Anambra State. And so once again, I think the whole country should come out and speak, and Sorosoke, and speak, and the need for an election, because in our democratic dispensation, if there are no elections, if election doesn't hold, there's a constitutional crisis. Even if there is a state of emergency, it's a constitutional crisis, because you don't suspend democratic institutions because you want to hold an election. This is a challenge to everybody, a challenge to federal government, state government, local government, everybody, the 200 million Nigerians. This is a test case, a litmus test case to see and to ensure that elections are allowed to hold in Anambra State, 2021, November 6.
I understand. Let me ask Mark if he can answer this one. I understand that Soludo has made Imolites very, very unhappy. Soludo was quoted to have said, Anambra is not Imo State, and that it will not happen. How are you people feeling it? How are you finding? They said the Imolites are not happy at all by looking down on them. And you know that among the Igbos, they have this impression that the Anambra people, they are always feeling superior to the rest of the Igbos because of their prowess in business, in academics, and therefore they think they're superior. And now for Soludo, a PhD, former governor of Central Bank, to say Anambra is not Imola. So how are you people feeling it?
Well, everybody has the freedom to say whatever they like, but one thing remains that Soludo doesn't even he doesn't have. Sadly, he might not. He's not even in that contest of the choice person, because he has been on the forefront of a lot of things, but he didn't make much impact. So what impact does he have to make if elected as governor? I mean, you were in CBN and you didn't. There was nothing too much about you. He said that out of his mind of like you said, superiority, that superiority complex. Well, Imo, we know, everybody knows the governor was imposed on them by the government, but the Imo people still have a high level of decency and orderliness when it comes to politics. Yes, far better than the Anambra people. I mean, why are we having election on the 6th, if not because of all these confusion in the electoral system in Anambra State? So we're having, yes, because things just go haywire. We've had situations where somebody will be governor for some weeks and they will remove him. Somebody will be governor for some months and they will say the constitution, the court says otherwise. So Anambra is even worse when it comes to elections and electoral activities. Imo is far better in that, far. Imo has that, the Imo-lites respect electoral arrangements, even though this particular one just came out of, this is one of, it has never happened before where the government imposes a governor to the people instead of the mandated governor, the person that has won the election. So, well, we just had that. I had that his statement, and I felt, well, anybody can say anything. You're free to say, as long as.
What are his chances? What are his chances?
That's what I just said. His chances are zero. I must tell you. Yes, zero. Soludo is going nowhere. I said point blank. Soludo is going nowhere.
As far as I'm concerned, ADC will be winning.
Straight up, big doctor, straight up. ADC is winning.
How about APC? How about APC?
No, none of that. We're all through with those old cranky parties. It's time to shove them to the corner. We don't want that again.
Let us assume that IPOB even allow Anambra to come out and vote. I'm not sure that ADC has enough money to use it to bribe our voters, as it were. Not something I'm proud of or should be done, but we know that's what happens. You collect 5,000 naira and you are jumping up to vote. So I don't know. I don't see how it is.
Interestingly, Doctor, that mentality is fading off a little. Last time we saw a video where some people were being handed over cash, and the same young people, youth, videoed that and castigated them. So it's eroding. That thing is going off because people have realized that 5,000 naira, 2,000 naira, what can you do? You buy food for one day and your life is in a hole for the rest of the years. So it is eroding. We will not see that play out again. The Anambra people are learning. They are learning in a hard way also. ADC has what, like we said last time, foot soldiers, men and women that have been mobilized to monitor the election, not to give money. We're not giving money. ADC, we don't have that money to give. We have money, but we don't have money to give to people like that. I mean, that's not how it's done. So they will be mobilizing, they'll be checking on the electoral activities, and they've been doing strong campaigning, strong mobilization, sensitization, and all that. So
okay. Before I leave you, tell us a little bit about Mogalu's meeting a few days ago when he did a virtual meeting. How many people were there? He has just moved from YPP to ADC, and he appears to have collected a number of people. But I must warn you, internet people are not voters.
Yes, internet people are not voters, but internet is where you can do the sensitization. And tapping into the internet space is a very good one for now. The young people are there. When you make your internet presentation very well, your social presentation, you bring it down to the ground.
You can influence.
Yes, yes. Let's take note that you can't reach out to everybody at the same time on ground, but you can reach out to everybody at the same time through the internet. So Kingsley Moghalu is a very intelligent man. I've always said that. He's using this space to do a lot. He's reaching out to young people. I mean, Nigeria has more number of young people, and all those young people are tech friendly. They are internet friendly. They are there at that space. So that's where you can get them. That's where you can reach out to them, you know. And like the one we had last night, it was a beautiful meeting. He gave a 3-hour presentation, 3 hours. And there were intelligent young men all over the world, Nigerians from America, from Canada, UK. They were putting questions to him. He was answering them prompt. And this is what we want to see. When you're in that atmosphere, you're excited that, oh, Nigeria is like this, you know? No, not.
You know, I will have just swallowed every word you have said. If not that, on the ground, on the day of election, come 2023, those you will see with the ballot cards, they will be different from those who are listening to him yesterday. And I'm talking people in Rondiziagu. I'm talking of people in Abakaliki. I'm talking of people in Okomosho and the villages around Okomosho and the Barapa and so this is where the problem is. I'm for you. I mean, I'm for a citizen of Nigeria that can do it. But when it comes to the footwork, the foot soldiers, people like Moghalu tend to be wanting. I mean, if the internet discussion and recruitment can translate to foot soldiers, that'd be the most beautiful thing that has ever happened. But we discover that they don't transfer to foot soldiers in the villages, in the nooks and crannies of Nigeria where the voting will be taking place. Those voting, they are being determined by the various local lords of those areas. In a village, someone has been giving them free transport, free education, he's been paying their ways in the hospital. And so on the day of voting, he simply tells them, go and vote for this party, go and vote for that party. Whatever good Moghalu has spoken on the internet will not affect that village. They will simply listen to the man who has been supporting them in the last 5 years. And that's the challenge in Nigeria.
Very logical. What you said is logical, big brother. But like we said, an awareness is brewing in Nigeria, in Africa. And everybody is trying to be, everybody wants to tap into the awareness. The Ibarakwa villager, the Abakaleke villager is also eager to get into what is going on. So they are seeing it also. They've seen that these things are failing. Yes, there's that headman that the APC and the PDP probably sponsors, but things are changing, big brother. And believe me, we might not have an abrupt change where there will be that new president and all that, but it's gradual. It's coming, you know, the House of Rep, Senate, some of the governors, then it will spring up to that level.
I think I want to share your optimism. Seriously, I really, really want to share your optimism. Having studied how people have been a local champion in an area, let me take the example of Shola Saraki. Shola Saraki became a local champion because he was a medical doctor. He was giving free medicine, free medication, and sponsoring people to school. So they loved him. And so he could tell them where to vote, when to vote, who to vote. And that was the problem until Bukola Saraki lost that dynasty. Well, we'll just leave it there and wish Nigeria the best. Nat, I've been itching to ask you this question. So PDP and APC, they had their crisis. Just let our viewers know what crisis is going on in APC and what crisis is going on in PDP in a nutshell.
Thank you very much. We have almost 73 or 4 registered political parties with INEC, and at the last, seriously speaking, the serious ones can boil down to 3 or 4 political parties. And out of that 4, we are talking of PDP and APC political parties. The APC had their congresses last weekend, and the congresses ended in a sham. It's very shambolic, very chaotic, and we are not sure because out of 36 states and the FCT in Nigeria, almost 28 states where there were APC primaries, they all had what we call alternative primaries. We had, especially in areas like Oshun, Oyo, Ogun, Abia, Imo, Delta, Niger, Enugu, Kano, and Sokoto State, among others. They were producing two two primary results, and that gives you a sign of concern. Are we really serious about democracy in Nigeria? Are we really serious about allowing free and fair primaries? Are we really serious about allowing democratic elections come 2023? What we are going to have in Anambra State could be a signpost of what we are going to have in 2023. So APC is now contending with how are they going to reconcile themselves, because that is internal challenge now within the APC. How are they going to sort themselves out within the remaining 1 year to be sure that they are going into elections as a united party? In the case of PDP also have these challenges of internal democracy. They had some primaries too over the last weekend, and the same thing was like APC. They are not agreed as to who should represent them at the governorship elections, at the National Assembly elections, who is going to represent them. And the two political parties, especially PDP, who have zoned their chairmanship of the party to the north, there are crises. There only this issue of consensus. Who determines consensus? If you are not going to do elections, who determines consensus? In the case of and the issue now is, if you have zoned the chairmanship of PDP to the north, it should automatically mean, for equity, for justice, for fair play, for democracy, it means that your presidential candidate should come from the south. But there are some elements in the PDP who think or are insisting that the presidency should be open to everybody, or some are insisting the presidency should remain in the north. APC are still trying to sort out who is going to be their presidential candidate. I understand that there's going to be a meeting between Osunbajo and Tinubu to sort out this issue of who is APC going to present as their presidential candidate for 2023 elections. So that we're all sitting on uncertainty, tension, anxiety as to what is going to happen the next 1 year plus.
It's
Hello?
Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, I mean, what will the result of Osinbajo Tinubu's meeting bring? Are they in contention? I know that Osinbajo has been having some supporters pushing him forward, but I don't think he could ever confront Tinubu to say, I'm going to contest against you. I don't think, I can't see him. So I wonder why that meeting would be essential.
Well, maybe it's for Photoshop or for the cameras or for for the public just to hear. But
Yeah.
I know that when it comes to who is going to represent the APC on presidential ticket, it is not Tinubu or Asuwaju who will decide that. No matter how much they try, their decision is going to be taken by members of people in the APC and even outside the APC. So
Yeah.
they are free. They are free association. They still have the fundamental human right to
To
associate.
meet and discuss.
Yes,
Uh,
and they have been
uh,
friends. They have been friends, and I hope they will remain friends.
Yeah, of course. As far as I'm concerned, they're not equal friends. One is superordinate, the other is subordinate. I mean, Osinbajo is subordinate to Tinubu, in my own opinion. That I can say that anywhere, everywhere. And when it comes to politics, Osinbajo cannot win in his local government, and I'm not putting him down. He's a nice man, stronger than Buhari, in my own opinion. But at the same time, he's not a political guy. He cannot win election in his own world without APC supporting.
He doesn't have the street credibility.
Not at all.
He doesn't have it, and obviously it was Tinubu that pushed him up.
Pushed him there. Yeah. So, Mark, I was about to ask you. So all these parallel ESCO in APC, does it help us at all? I mean, there are three in some places, three executive office holders in the same state.
Yes.
Where do we go from there? Like they say, nobody.
It doesn't help us, doctor. It doesn't. It's just a cluster of the word useless is not abusive. The word useless is to express something. It's just a cluster of useless activity. I'm not being abusive. I'm not cursing.
I understand English. Yeah, it is not useful. That is the meaning of useless. Less use that is less. It's not useful. It's not an abuse. I mean,
yes,
it's
but
just
in Africa, some of these words we use, they see it as you're being very abusive, but that's not
abusive. I agree with you. So they're just useless to our upliftment. That's what we're saying. They're not useful.
That's what we're saying.
As far as I'm concerned, we're talking about uplifting of a nation, of a society, of a community. We want to see the place develop. We've been called underdeveloped for so many years, and we're still there. We're not even developing. Some people say, call us developing, and the world will be working for us. But I don't see how it will work in Nigeria, at least for now, until something fundamentally changes.
Sorry, a video just came in of the soldiers stopping the press, people like me and you, from participating in anything protest. So let's see that video.
Okay, go ahead.
They are filming us. Excuse me, sir. Now you guys, you're supposed to protect us, and now you're filming us. You are journalists.
Did I hear him right? The journalist is supposed to protect him, and they're filming him. If you don't want to be filmed, then don't come to this office, isn't it?
No, it's the journalist that is saying that the police
the soldiers should protect them.
But they are filming them, and they stopped them. It's not even about filming them. They stopped them from having anything, from people doing anything, and having the press to video or do anything. Interview people, no interviewing.
That is a police state. That becomes a police state.
You see now? You see what is happening?
Well, let me tell our viewers, if we have to come later in the evening today to say how things have gone in Lagos, we will have to do that. It will be an emergency Schengen Media Echo News. We shall do it if we have to do it. We hope everything will go well in Nigeria, but if we have to do an emergency program later today, we will have to do it. Let's just put it there. Unfortunately, we cannot interview the consensus chairman, Iyocha Ayu, today. We hope in future he will be available, or his men will make him available to the news media. We want to thank the studio in Milan. I want to thank you, gentlemen, in-house researcher, Ambassador Nat Yapo. Thank you for coming again. Thank you, Mark Godwin in Milan, and for the rest of the crew, I want to thank you very much. Until probably in the evening, when we have to reassess what has gone on in Lagos, Abuja, and other surrounding places. My name is Shegun Johnson. God bless you all.